There's something really cool about a lot of people who felt like they didn't fit somewhere coming together and creating a place where everybody can feel like they fit.
Whenever clouds start gathering to cover up the sun, it really doesn't mean a thing to me.
Hello, friends. So, growing up, I went to a Christian and Missionary Alliance church, and that was the only church experience I had besides like visiting family churches when I was out of town on the weekend. And because I not only grew up in the same church, but also with most of the same church family the majority of my life, I feel like I had a different experience than a lot of people who I met in college, whether they just moved churches as their family decided that something wasn't working for them, or if they moved towns and states, even countries, and so had to find new churches as a result of that. Because I didn't experience the changes in my life as a kid, my first time switching churches to something that I was hoping to be more permanent was when I got to college. And I honestly couldn't find a church that I actually liked in Orange City for the majority of the time I was in that town. At least 13 churches in Orange City for me to choose from. I guess it's either hit or miss with college towns whether churches are good at making each college student feel like they belong or glossing over them because there are so many. And the first church I went there for 2.5 years. I was a pretty consistent churchgoer at the time, and I remember coming to church the beginning of my junior year, thinking, okay, this is where I'm going to go again, and they didn't know my name. I'd been going there at least 2 Sundays a month, depending on whether I was at home or, skipped a Sunday for some other reason. But I consistently attended that one church. And the fact that I was a junior in college, had been in the same town, going to the same church for 2.5 years, and hadn't been recognized by a regular churchgoer Sunday by Sunday, they were still asking for my name as they greeted me. That was hard. I realized that part of that is that people aren't great with names, or when it is a college town and there are a lot of college students at a church, it's hard to stay connected with them. But I also was a regular attender, so I felt forgotten and not unwanted, but unnoticed, and that wasn't okay with me. Another reason I stopped going to that church after 2.5 years was that they really liked going through a book of the Bible chapter by chapter, verse by verse, which I have experienced before, so it wasn't abnormal for me. But they were going through 1st and 2nd Kings. I left for the summer, went to camp, came back for junior year, and they were still in 2nd Kings between May and August. And between not being recognized by a congregation member and not wanting to deal with an Old Testament book for another month and a half, I left. And junior year was a lot of trying to figure out where I fit instead. And I didn't really find anywhere. I went to the Alliance Church that was in town. Part of the reason I didn't go back was that I either needed to find a ride or I had to walk a good 8 or 9 blocks just to get there. And during the winter, I was not a fan of that idea, so I didn't go.